Now, Israeli Navy announces invasion through the sea route. India today takes Mediterranean sea route to Lebanon-Israel border towards the south. Here's an India Today exclusive report from nearly 3 miles after the Israel naval fleet had warned locals to evacuate.
We are now en route towards Mediterranean Sea, crossing over Beirut as we are headed further south, exactly where the fishermen of the southern Lebanon encountered with the Israeli Navy. From this part, exactly where the IDF Navy plans to invade in Gaza and from the Mediterranean coastline to target and carry out offensive against Hezbollah. After ground strike, after air strike, it's now the Navy, the Mediterranean coastline, the maritime strike by the Israeli being planned against Hezbollah. India Today, only global channel now in the Mediterranean to assess the threat over Lebanon after Israel announced a maritime warfare against Hezbollah from the southern coast. Going after a few kilometers, what I see are some boats, the local boats of the Lebanese, which are headed to the central part of Lebanon, as the southern coastline is now virtually blocked by the Israeli Navy warnings. A very few fishermen are venturing out in the Mediterranean. However, the number in usual days are being seen as much more. As the fishermen, there are a huge number. Thousands of these fishermen have their boat anchored near the coastline. I see only one or two, hardly a couple of these boats are in the Mediterranean region. As we go from off coast of Beirut, we are now headed to the southern part of Mediterranean towards the border of Israel. As we met one of the fishermen here, there was discussion about the situation further in the south, many of them not going that side. Our boat owner had an interaction about the situation, and we had a briefing about the possible escalation or the possible threat there. So most of these fishermen said they're not going that side, but we are just en route as to assess the situation about the threat and the kind of offensive that is being planned by Israel through the Mediterranean coastline to invade after ground and air strike. Off coast of Beirut, by traveling a few minutes, very close to the southern part, the maritime border between Lebanon and Israel, it's all wearing a deserted look, a blue ocean, blue sky, but usually flooded with dozens of the fishermen boats is all now deserted. The reason is fear and threat by the Israeli Navy that poses a grave threat even for the civilians who have been warned not to venture out in the sea, as Israel now plans to carry out offensive through the maritime coastal line after ground and air strike, and that poses a great threat for the people of Lebanon as well. Somewhere in the Mediterranean, with this global exclusive coverage, Ashutosh Mishra for India Today.